the line. What a clearance. He's had a check. Goal.
Very good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in the world, and welcome to MUFC Realist TV. I'm your host, Mick Roby, and today we have a smashing lineup. Actually, our starting 11 is backstage. We have some bench warmers, some substitutes that couldn't make it. Some got injured on the way, but we managed to pull out the best starting 11 for tonight to deliver some really cracking talking points.
He's had a check. Goal.
But that means I'm going to transition over to my special guest of honor, as usual, Mr. David Lavelle, Mr. Football Agent for 365. Sir, welcome back from Germany. How are you?
Yeah, very good, very good. Just had a busy couple of weeks recently, so sorry I haven't been able to join in. But yeah, very good.
Always good to have you.
Starting to warm up now for a good week of football with a good Liverpool win last night, man.
Yes.
And it'll be great. I think tomorrow's game. Looking at the stats, with Real Sociedad, they're not a bad squad. Now they've got plenty of players out injured. I think they've won 5 out of the last 7
David Silva is
league
injured.
games,
Yeah.
sitting 5th in the table. So I mean, they beat United at home. I think it'll be a very, very tough game for you tomorrow evening.
Is that you as a neutral or a Liverpool supporter speaking?
No, it's good. It's me looking at the stats and just giving you the facts, really.
Yes, true. Yeah, I know.
You didn't tell me as a Liverpool supporter.
Yeah, he is.
Get off.
But David is a good guy. We've spoken so many times before, and we have the same view. The Premier League is not the same without having a good old fight, the rivalry fight with Liverpool, and that what makes us go and
we need it. Need it.
Even Arsenal. I mean, I feel sorry for Liverpool doing badly right now because it's who would
that far?
No, I'm not saying badly, but I'm feeling sorry for you.
No, I mean, I wouldn't feel sorry for them.
Let's face it, if football didn't have rivalries, football wouldn't be what it is today.
No.
So we need them rivalries to survive.
Yeah, of course you do, and I think
Friendly rivalry that we can have.
That's kind of transitions me over to the next question again. What's going on at Liverpool, and is it a Klopp issue, or is it fan base are going mental at the moment?
I think, listen, we've a couple of injuries there at the moment. There's rumours, I think, of Liverpool getting Bellingham in, which if there's any truth to it, it's fantastic for us. But the centre of the park, we're looking weak now. Last night he did give a couple of the young kids with a run out, which was very surprised at. 1-0 up against Napoli. They all came in on and did very, very well. So there's potential are coming through, but I still think a January window we need to buy. We need to buy. Centre of the park.
You have the money though. Is the money for it?
Yeah, listen, they'll find the money.
I've got a question for David on Liverpool.
Go ahead.
Is it true? Well, there's two things really. Is it true that the loss of Michael Edwards is a massive loss? And two, is your downfall this season due to the fact of lack of investment in the midfield, whereas you prioritise the front three to try and replace Firmino, who's still at the club, and Mane, who left?
Well, I think Mane to start off with was a massive loss for us. I think that they took a couple of players in, Diaz, etc., and I thought that they would cover Mane. That hasn't been the case. Mane was just outstanding, has been outstanding for us for quite a while. As far as Ward, Edwards is concerned, I think Julian Ward's doing a good job there as director of football. I believe Edwards has now been linked with a role at Chelsea. Is the latest I've heard on that. And also, I was actually speaking to a friend of mine today, Lawrence, who's now got the new director of football job at Chelsea as well. So congratulations to him. Great man, good man getting the job at Chelsea. But as I say, listen, we need investment. Is there money in the pot? it depends who you listen to and what they say. I mean, if we're going to go for Jude, in the January transfer
Yeah.
window, you're talking mega bucks. You're not talking 70, 80 million for him. He's on
Well-
fire for club and country.
I mean, you're the agent, but I've seen reports of they want 150 million euros
Uh-huh.
if it's down to instalments, but they will accept 80 to 85 million pounds up front as a one-off payment.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Well, I mean that wouldn't surprise me. Structurally, I think it's a massive discount if that's what they're talking.
Yeah.
Majority of players are structured. The way the deals are done, it's structured over a couple of years, really.
Yeah, every deal generally is instalments, isn't it?
Correct.
Yeah.
They get one up front at 80 million.
Yeah.
I would jump at it if that was the case. If it was an 80 million up front, it's money in the bank. Money in the bank. If there's any truth to it, now, to be honest with you, now I haven't heard that myself, but if that's the truth or there's any truth behind that, we need to jump at it. He's a steal.
I've seen it reported a few times across multiple sources that it is still accept 80, 85. If you just give me the money, all of it right now, we'll accept it. If not, we want 150.
Well, you're saying that now until the likes of Man City or someone get interested, and then that deal goes to the side.
Real Madrid as well.
Real Madrid, exactly. So he's been linked with. Listen, he's on fire for as I say, club and country. I hope as a Liverpool fan he comes to us. And if it is,
It'll be a bidding war, don't you reckon?
Sorry.
It's going to be a bidding war.
I think it will be a bidding war unless Liverpool come in early. Which listen, I suppose we discussed this. I think before, the Liverpool are one of the clubs that do work behind the scenes. Don't really put it out there in the public domain and get the job done. So therefore, it takes the element of a bidding war away.
Okay.
They did it with Nunez and Diaz, didn't they, as well?
Yeah, that's it.
So when one thing that pops into my mind is, well, to attract that kind of caliber player, the talent that everyone wants at the moment, you got to also look at from the player's side. David, would now he want to join, let's say, Liverpool if you're not finishing in the Champions League spots, or will he just go, I want to return to England, what's my options? Liverpool, Chelsea, United, the top clubs. Or would I go to Real Madrid? I don't think he will go to Real Madrid.
Well, I suppose
I disagree.
On that, like, really, you look at Newcastle for a
Just
matter of
speculation, gossip.
you look at look at Newcastle. Newcastle have all the money in the world. Once again, they're not in the Champions League, they're not in the Europa League, and that's the reason why they can't attract. They can pay. Listen, let's be honest. They can pay whatever the players want, salary.
Well, they can't because of FFP.
Well, there's always a way around it, and
they're doing it properly anyway, in my opinion. They're doing it properly.
Yeah, if you do it properly, look at City, look at PSG, look at the rest, and they can do it if they want to do it, and there's ways around it. But if these players want, it's not all about the wages. It's all about winning stuff as well as the wages. And I think they attract the bigger names to the club, and Liverpool being one, if they don't finish in the top 4 this year, is there a chance that in the summer window that they won't attract the bigger players? Certainly there is. And as I say, Newcastle, they could attract a hell of a lot of players this year, but I think they're realistic about it, and the players that they targeted, and what they've done is they've told them the big picture. It's not the here and now. It's maybe 2 or 3 seasons down the line and where they'll be. And I suppose the answer to the question is if they don't finish in the top 4, it will put players off from coming. Yeah, of course it will.
Is there anyone else to have? I mean, we kind of naturally slide into the transfer January window. Of course, David, you and me, we know that it's going to be the biggest shopping window we've seen for quite a while since it's the World Cup. It depends on who does well. I mean, from you got your ears on the ground. You work within the FIFA European leagues and those kind of things. What have you heard in terms of the from a United point of view?
I actually spoke to someone very high up in United yesterday, and from what I've been told, you aren't doing much business in January. No, that was yesterday. once again, we're miles away from the January transfer window. You've got injuries, you've maybe players going off the boil. You've got the big spanner in the works here that we've never done before. It's unique. Is the Winter World Cup?
It's a summer transfer window, isn't it, for most clubs now?
Well, it is. I mean, you've got to remember, at every World Cup, there's always a couple of players that we've never heard about before. We always come out of
South
the woodwork
America or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, and could it be that some of these players, step up at the World Cup, and the likes of Man United who say currently that we're not doing anything, but hold on a second, there's a kid here, he's 21, he scored 5 goals in the World Cup. We can get him for 20 million, we can get him for 30 million. Let's take a punt on him. It always happens. So I just think it's too early in the window. I mean, I spoke to AC Milan as well today or yesterday, speaking to AC Milan. I spoke to PSG, and once again, there doesn't seem to be at this moment in time that there's much movement. But as I think it was AC Milan said, and we don't know what's going to happen between now and then. There could be anything. So
I'll probably get in trouble because it's wasting more time. But with obviously we know there's always an inflation during a window after a World Cup. Now because players perform, so some of that price jumps up 20, 30, 40 million in some cases.
Yeah.
So we're going to see that in January. So then what happens when the players that do well in the World Cup but don't get snapped up in January, and then they continue to have a good remainder of the season, how much is their value really going to end up going up come summer?
Yeah, I mean, listen, if they have a good World Cup, the spotlight is then on them, and then clubs are keeping an eye on them. And once again, it goes down to the supply and demand, and who's actually after the player. If we get into a bidding war with an individual, we've seen this a million times over, especially in the
it could just go like that.
It just goes through the roof. One or two clubs get involved, especially top boys in Europe now.
But I'm just wondering, because there's a high premium if they perform well in a World Cup in the summer. So if they perform well in the World Cup in the winter, but don't get their move in January, but then continue to still show what they're about for the remainder of the season, would that not have an extra increase on it?
Of course it will. But
so we could see massive bids.
Well, I think if you go out in the World Cup and you play well, and then you continue to play well after the World Cup in whatever league you're in, once again you're going to get loads of interest. You're going to get a bidding war, and when you get a bidding war, it's just it takes one or two clubs, 2 or 3 clubs, to start bidding against each other, and that price goes up and up and up, and it can be colossal. I mean, we can go into the World Cup.
One of the most famous ones from that is James Rodriguez, isn't it? He was
That's
the one
exactly.
who caught the eye.
Yeah.
He's the big example of that, where he went to a big club and he did all right, but he was. Everyone looked back and said, his best moments was during the World Cup, sort of thing. He did all right.
This is the difference, though, Phil. So. The difference is in that scenario, he's done his job in the World Cup, and it comes to a summer window, so they immediately sign them. We've never experienced it before where we've gone, fucking hell, that's a good player, or we've missed out on him. So, but then he still has another 6 months to play in the league to prove himself even more. So surely that value is going to go up higher than it ever would in a summer window after a World Cup, because he's done that in the World Cup, and then he's gone bam because he's had another 6 months before the actual summer big window where people spend bigger.
Or he could drop. He could have had a wonderful World Cup and then just not be the same for club, because it depends who you've got around.
Hopefully.
As well, doesn't it? You can't
hopefully.
And you've in a team that's not doing as well, and they only start to really come to the front when under the spotlight when they're with the
on
team
the biggest
stage.
The
national, with all the better players around them, sort of thing, and they sometimes need that. And so going back to the club could also, if they don't snap them up there and then it could work both ways. It's going to be an interesting window, certainly.
It's going to be very different.
It's going to change
Another one in there, guys, is that we've never experienced this before. Is because it's a January transfer window.
Yeah, in the Winter
and,
World
and,
Cup.
and,
Yeah.
and the contract rolling into the summer. They are now in a position now if a player's there and he's got 6 months left in his contract with the current club, he can sign a pre-contract in January
Yeah.
and move to
Foreign
the
clubs only, though, isn't it?
and
Yeah,
then
interesting
get a
point.
larger salary. Or there's so much we've never seen before. So it'll be interesting to see what comes of it and what deals are done. I just think it's an exciting time.
Yeah. I think that's the most exciting thing about this World Cup. Is the
Yeah,
transfer window.
yeah, no, I think it'll be an interesting, it's unique. It'll be good to see how it shapes out. As I say, any of the clubs I've been speaking to recently, any of the big boys, they aren't moving. There's been one or two have been on the phone and they've give us targets already for January. But majority of them, I think, listen, it's still a bit early, and they're saying they're
Yeah,
not
it is.
interested. But that always changes, lads. That's
But
always.
Wan-Bissaka definitely out. What I heard. Also
But he's
the
going to play. I had
Yeah.
Wan-Bissaka. I had Wan-Bissaka in the last transfer window. I spoke to quite a few clubs throughout Europe, and the salary, etc. Nobody was willing to pay it.
No,
Nobody was willing-
that's the
it's
price.
And also, the Glazers weren't willing to accept the loss either, were they?
Well, no, they were. To be
Were they
quite
gonna?
honest, yeah, they were considering. They were open to everything.
Interesting.
I spoke to quite a few clubs on quite a few of the United players, and no, they would. If I'm honest, United were very keen to get them off the salary, off the wages, and then move them on, and also develop, let the players play. It's not.
That's very refreshing to hear that, David. Very.
And it's good for the players. Listen, the club weren't holding them to ransom. The club wanted to get the guys to play football and better their career. And they were, to be honest with you, they were very. It wasn't all about money. It wasn't all about money.
So do you think that means there's been a change in the background? As in, Eric Ten Hag, when he was being interviewed for the job, he said, "I want full control." Do you think that is actually an element in this to understand why Wan-Bissaka was going to let him go for a loss? Because that's not what Glazers do.
No, I don't think it was, now, if I'm honest with you, because I had the conversation before Ten Hag came into the club. Now, it all got put on hold when he came in. Obviously, he wanted to assess every single player and give every player the opportunity to prove themselves, which they did do. He then, so some of the names that I had on the sheet remained on the sheet from day one, and it was the same terms and conditions from day one as it was when Ten Hag came in. So,
Okay.
I think
Interesting.
Yeah, that's refreshing to know.
Brian, do you have any question regarding the transfers? Like, who do you think ins or outs, or who do you want to see come in if you are transition that, like, from the views of America?
Yeah. Well, I feel like I think it's really going to be interesting because I'm really interested, kind of to what David was talking about a little bit ago. So we've got a handful of players that are going to be out of contract come this summer, and
They do have an extension though of 1 year.
Yeah, and I know that's kind of that's one of the things that's kind of one of the ways that the club likes to do their business. They like to retain value in a player by putting.
But they can still never sell them though. That's the problem.
Yeah. Well, and I guess for me, it's interesting because, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure that this past week, Ten Hag specifically said that he wanted two right backs, right? Like he wanted two right backs, which I feel like.
Yeah, he wants Fidello, doesn't he? He wants Fidello. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Max Aarons has been linked for 10 million pounds, and another. And wait a minute.
As well.
Yeah, but we keep forgetting one very extreme good talent, which is Ethan Laird as well. That is out on loan.
I've heard that today.
Yeah.
No, not
go
for
on,
me.
Brian.
But...
Sorry for jumping in. Sorry.
I just think it's interesting because I feel like any.
There's something wrong with your AirPods or something.
It's breaking up a bit there, mate.
You not hear me that well?
Yeah, now it's better.
Today now.
It was crackling.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I was saying if you ask any United fan who they would like to see, I feel like right back is on the list, like a fullback is on the list, but the primary target for most United fans is up front, like in the number 9 position, because United have been defending very, very well, but they have not been scoring a whole lot of goals.
I totally agree, Brian. We went from not being able to create chances to now we are creating chances, but we can't finish them. So we need that number 9. We need that clinical finisher.
Yeah, and United went from conceding all the time. Yeah, and Kodi Gapko. I mean, I think he.
I want him, but he's not number 9.
No, but he's getting goals and assists for his team, and just because he might not be in an actual number 9, he's getting goals and assists. So it doesn't matter where he starts on the pitch.
No, I believe we still need him, Phil. We need Gapko, but we also need a real number 9 as well, in my opinion.
All right.
Yeah.
People who's watching this, drop a like in the comment. Let us know who do you want us to recruit. Who do you think is the ins and outs? From what I understood from yesterday, the out in imminent is actually Facundo Palestri. It's coming from his agent. Yeah, he was speaking up. Yep, definitely.
I've heard that was misinterpreted.
That can be also the agent saying like my client is not getting enough playing time. But on the other hand, he was injured and was supposed to go on a loan. So that could be Palestri going on a loan deal, but I don't see it being a permanent. And David, what have you heard around that? Have you heard anything, or?
I haven't heard a thing, guys. It's been very, very quiet on the home front on that,
Yeah, I believe it's been misinterpreted by his agent saying he's going to be leaving United in January or the summer, but it is actually on loan rather than a permanent deal, is what I've been hearing.
Osimhen as a striker. Daniel Fletcher, welcome to the chat. Our first chatter. He says Osimhen as a striker. Leo for
left wing.
Left wing. Yeah.
Do you understand, Daniel, that will cost about £250 million for both of them? The Glazers aren't going to do that.
I'm just going to Zed is saying no. Okay. Fahim Faisal saying Gapko.
Yeah.
Looks like a lot of people want to go for Gapko.
Yeah.
Which makes sense, David, because Gapko and Ten Hag has the same agent. And we know that there was talks between Ruud van Nistelrooy and Manchester United. They had everything sorted for the summer. And then the issue was that Ronaldo was retained and stayed. So Gapko never came. But that is a deal to be done. It's just the fee structure, I think around 45 million euros what they're talking about.
Cheap.
There's been a couple of things now.
Sorry, mate?
Enzo Fernandez, we were linked with him in the last window and we're being linked with him again already, sort of thing. Is there any movement on him? Apparently
or even the right back from Barcelona,
We're also being linked with Nunez that just signed for Wolves as well. Apparently, Ten Hag's a big admirer of him. Okay. And with the position Wolves are in with now, we might end up going for him. But I don't get anything.
Daniel Fletcher straight into the goal.
We cannot continue stream without a Frankie de Jong question for sure. Will United go for de Jong? Well, sorry, I have been reporting on this in the past, and I keep saying again. Me and David, we were talking about this earlier regarding Barcelona's financial situation, that they actually deferred all the debts forward. They're just going all in the Premier League to qualify deep in, but obviously now they are not even going to the Premier League. It is inevitable they need to offload some wage
Champions League, you mean?
Yeah, Champions League. Yeah. There's been talks of loaning out Frankie in January. Basically, Manchester United will take on the full of his wages with an obligation to buy in this summer.
And Barca will do the same at Wolves for Ruben
Neves. So we will see what that is brewing. Or United might, because it's clear and obvious that Erik ten Hag wanted Frankie de Jong, absolutely wanted him. So I see that being returned. Perhaps depends on, because now they bought Casemiro. Casemiro's been working out beautifully, Now, with Frankie, you have to build a team around Frankie to get the best out of him. Erik ten Hag knows how to get the best out of Frankie, for sure. But what do you guys think? Playing Frankie de Jong alongside with Casemiro, that would be a frightening mouth-watering prospect to have as a midfield, right?
And Donny and Ericsson in the number 10. That is magic.
I tell you what, I'm looking for.
Or Liverpool will go for him,
Seriously,
maybe.
Yeah,
whatever comes of this window, I just think that the Premier League is getting more and more exciting season by season. You know, the weaker clubs are getting stronger, and the stronger clubs are starting to balance out a little bit as well. You know, you've seen the Newcastle coming through. West Ham's bought some good players. And you're just seeing one or two good players just sneaking into the Premier League, and you just know that it's just getting stronger week by week. And you used to be able to say, oh yeah, the top four, it's obvious who they'll be. They'll beat anybody. It's not like that anymore. Anyone can
It's like
get
a top
beaten on
8 now,
any
isn't
day.
it? It's not even a top
Absolutely
6
love it.
anymore. It's like a top 8, top 10.
We've got the coaches coming there. You know, we are just becoming the strongest league again.
Yeah, we are the
Napoli
Super
won
League of
very-
Europe, actually.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
Z's right as well. Napoli would want 100 million plus Rossman.
Yeah,
100%.
100%.
Yeah, I think. Listen, I spoke to Napoli as well, and they're not for doing anything this window, January at the moment.
Well, they're doing well, aren't they?
Yeah,
They're at the top of their game at the minute.
They're on fire. I spoke to Cristiano a couple of weeks ago, and he's for doing nothing this window. So at the end of the day, they're playing well. You know, don't upset the apple cart. They're flying in the league. So yeah, I would doubt that'll happen unless there's a mega offer comes in. I would doubt it'll happen.
But you'd agree, David, it's the same. Leao and Osman are costing you around 100 million plus euros for each of them.
Yeah, at least I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say at least in the round. You know.
Yeah, Fahim Faisal, big up for your chat. Gapko is a great deal for 30 million. Depends on, if we are the only one going in for Gapko, let's say that's a great price. But I would see that other clubs will also go in for Gapko over the summer, January.
If he's
Well,
a
there's
30
been
million, if he's a 30 million, I'm sure there'll be a handful of clubs after him.
Well, there's been conflicting reports, hasn't there? There's been reports that due to some kind of clause in his contract, he can go for 25 million. Whether that's pounds or euros, I'm not quite sure.
Yeah.
But then Fabrizio Romano has come out and said, no, it'll be 45 million. So it's then trying to find out where the truth lies in that, and I'm sure that will develop and come out in a few weeks.
Information from what Van Nistelrooy, United, great link. Same agents as Erik ten Hag. There's a deal to be made, So
in Gakpo, there definitely is.
Yeah.
See, I believe it was done. It was. We were trying to go for it, and the board backed out. And then when Leeds was having their deal nearly completed, suddenly it collapsed the day before the deadline. I believe because Erik ten Hag has the same agent, that is what happened. Ten Hag picked up the phone and said, "Don't let him go there. He's going to be our player. He's coming to United. Give us till January, summer."
In terms of the striker situation, I've just heard that Erik ten Hag is also interested in his former Ajax striker. I can't remember his name.
Broby.
Broby, yeah, Brian Broby.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. Or there's Jonathan Davis also on the list.
Yeah.
Canadian.
Yeah.
Brian,
I would
you're
have
Canadian, but what do you reckon about Broby?
What am I reckon about Robbery over at
Robbie.
Ajax?
Yeah. Would you like him?
I don't know much about him. I feel like, I guess, given kind of his profile of striker, I feel like, I guess my only question would be, and this is coming from very limited knowledge of the player, is I feel like United right now under Ten Hag have been so successful because their front line has been more fluid, and I feel like if Barbary was to come in, would he maybe limit some of that fluidity? Would he have the ability to play with a level of fluidity at the front line?
Can I not argue the striker that he played, though, before he came to United? Sebastian Haller. He wasn't very mobile and fluid.
No,
and it worked.
Totally changed him. Now, guys, I want to transition this question to the next topic because we do have a Europa League to review. And I want to go through the super chats because everyone excited that David Lavelle is on the show. So they have a lot of questions for you, David, if you don't mind. I don't mind, right? Daniel Fletcher saying, any chance United will sign a centre-back in the summer?
As I say, from my conversations yesterday, with United, there's not much on
The centre back issue.
on the list at the moment.
For
What do you
summer.
mean in terms of summer or January? Or
January.
No, we're on, he asked for summer.
So summer. I haven't heard. Sorry. My mistake.
that's
Sorry.
too far ahead, I guess, in
It's
planning.
too far ahead, I would say, at the moment, guys.
They will start planning sometimes in February for the summer
But,
transfer window.
I mean, listen, Maguire hasn't been firing all cylinders for you guys recently. He's put down that he's been injured. Has he been injured? Has it been niggle? Has it been confidence? Or what?
Mental.
Yeah, we don't know. Would they maybe look at replacing Maguire? You just don't know. I think that's a situation, a position that you guys need to strengthen. Moving forward.
I believe it'll be Lindelof that leaves before Maguire, purely because of the value on the balance sheet.
I don't know. Okay, there's more other positions important to strengthen. In terms of what you heard, is there any priority positions? Let's say you heard there's not going to be much business done in January, but did you hear anything like, oh, we're looking for right back or striker? I think the right back and striker would be the priorities. Or maybe they would just retract Ethan Laird, back from loan and just say play.
I mean, Ethan Laird's a very, very, very good player. Is he up to United standards at the moment? I don't think he is, to be quite honest with you. Not like he's a fantastic player, fantastic player. I mean, you've been linked with Mark Aaron as well from Norwich. I think he's a fantastic. You've been linked a couple of windows with him, depending on what price you can get him out at. I think he's a fantastic player, and certainly one for the future coming through. He's proven himself. What is the price tag?
Apparently, he's around 10 million. Apparently, that I've heard. But you're the agent, so you tell me.
I mean, listen, if you get him for 10 million, I would jump at him.
Yeah.
A player like that for £10 million, I would jump at him. Get Wan-Bissaka out the door, or get a couple of them off the books. Even Phil Jones. Can't even believe Phil Jones is still about. We're putting him in the same conversation, but he is still there. United need to get some of the bigger players off their wage.
Phil Jones might as well become a doctor because he's been in hospital for that long. He knows the script, doesn't he? He knows how to deal with it all.
Yeah.
Somebody was saying for him, Fazal, he prefers Martinez.
Lautaro Martinez.
Yeah, not bad.
Lautaro Martinez, yeah. He's
not bad shout.
Good player.
Listen, there's several linkage to right back, like Frimpong, or I call him Ping Pong, though. For some reason.
No, you copied me for that. That's
Did
why.
I?
Yeah. I said ping pong, and you took it.
Yeah. And then yesterday I heard also about Max Aarons for going for £10 million.
And Sergino Dest as well is still on the radar.
Barcelona, Dest. Dest was linked to United over the summer. For some reason.
But he is at AC Milan on loan with an option to buy. So it still is a possibility, I suppose.
Daniel Fletcher, thank you again for your contribution. Rather have Bellingham over De Jong. Enough Glazers would never spend that amount of money on him. Yeah. Any Brian? Any comment on that before we move on?
I guess if the quoted numbers are anywhere as high as like 150 plus, or if it's as low as like 80 to 85, yes, they absolutely would spend that money on them. They've done it multiple times for several different players. So I think, they've done business with Dortmund, so it's not like they don't know how to go about handling that as well. So I feel like if Manchester United can have a good enough season and get back into the Champions League, and Jude Bellingham becomes available, for the right price, they absolutely would go for it.
They will go for it. I think so.
But I do think that if they get into a bidding war with a team and the price starts to hike too much, then they will move away from them. Because I feel like, I could be wrong about this, but I feel like that's kind of what happened with Darwin Nunez this summer as well. United were in for Nunez, and then Liverpool came with a quoted price that was way higher than what United were willing to offer, and United pulled out of it. And so,
well, according to David, United, it was just speculations, right? We spoke about this, David.
I mean, that could be it too. Yeah, that could be it too.
We weren't that heavy linked with Nunes as the media was saying.
No, because they always sell United interested, so other clubs come in and buy them.
But once again, is Bellingham going to be available in the summer? Will he go in January? Will Liverpool come in once again, sweep them away? Like they've done with so many other players. They've went in. People think they're going to strike in the summer, and they went in January window and just got the player they wanted, paid the money, got the player. Yeah.
See, David, I'd generally say no. Dortmund will not sell in a winter window. It'll only be summer. But given what I said to you before about that 115 installments or 85 up front, now if somebody pays that 85 in January, they may well do.
Yeah.
Fantastic people.
Well, Dortmund are also really savvy as well. They won't sell unless they have a ready-made replacement ready to come in. It was the exact same thing that they did for Haaland as well, right?
Sancho. They'll only sell one star per season.
They brought in Malen when they sold Sancho, and they brought in Adeyemi when they sold Haaland. So they're really savvy about that.
Ibrahim from AC Milan to United this summer. I don't know. We're too early to talk about this summer, but
apparently he has an anti-United clause in the contract with Real Madrid.
And also,
Real Madrid can't sell him.
We spoke about it. Napoli don't want to sell Osimhen. David knows this. Has been speaking to them as well. So before I miss any super chat, Fahim Faisal saying Casemiro is completely a different profile than Frankie de Jong. It will be a world-class midfield for us if we get Frankie de Jong. Yes, 100%. 100%. Unless Kloppish come for Frankie de Jong and say, I want...
Pep Guardiola could well go for him as well because
also they need midfield.
De Bruyne is in his early 30s now. Bernardo Silva, I mean, it's nailed on he's going to leave the club. It's just a case of when, not if. So that's two spots there. They could get Frankie de Jong and Bellingham, in my opinion. But
absolutely,
we'll see.
Listen, gents, thank you so much, people, for sending in your comments. Please don't forget to like. It really helps the algorithm. Share this as much as you can. We are a growing community of passionate football people. We speak the game of football with their hearts, no matter where we are in the world. But please, guys, it's been a cracking show. Don't forget, please, share this video. Like and subscribe as usual. And don't forget, Glaze is out. You know what I mean?
Glaze is out.
Green and gold until we're sold. Even you, Liverpool, can shout that,
FSG out.
FSG out. Really, guys, thank you for your time. It's been fantastic to have you all. It's been great talking points. Some of you delivered some good uppercuts, some good, we had the Irish...
Scottish.
Thank you so much. I'm very humbled to have you, David, as usual.
Anytime, guys.
Yep.
Nice to meet you, David.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Please like and subscribe for our channel. This is Mick Ruby from MUFC Realist TV. Yeah. Boom.